Hello, good morning dear aspirants, and today is 27th December and we are ready with our list of must-read articles of today's newspaper, The Hindu. And so without wasting time, let's run through the quick scan of today's newspaper. But today's front page doesn't have much news, but it is starting with a sad news about the entire country mourning the death of our former PM Manmohan Singh, who was a visionary and started the initiatives of liberalization, privatization and globalization during 1990s. So LPG is in our syllabus of GS paper 3 and its effects on industrialization and India's economies. Today, you should read about it because questions keep coming in GS paper 3 about it. Let's go directly to the editorial page. Yeah, then this article is not important. It's a political article. So as UPSC aspirants, skip it. Now moving on to this article, an avoidable tragedy. Now this article is about the stampede that happened during the movie of Pushpa 2, where 𝘿𝙤𝙪𝙪 came surprisingly. And this comes under GS paper 3 disaster management, stampedes, and also GS paper 4 ethics case study, where you can use the steps that one should take during such situations as a DM, which you can use in the answers. What options do you have as a DM of a district where such and such situation is happening? So what this article is saying, India is arguably the country with the highest number of stampedes and resulted injuries and fatalities. So National Crime Records Bureau NCRB reveals that between 1996 and 2022, India recorded 3,935 stampede incidents, resulting in more than 3,000 deaths, right? And this happens mostly during religious festivals, mostly in the largest percentage, then political rallies, and sometimes celebrity appearances like the recent case, right? There are certain examples like in Sabrimala in 2011, 106 people died. In 2013, during Kumbh Mela in Allahabad, 36 people died. And in 2014, during a political rally, 30 people died in Gandhi Maidan in Patna, right? So what steps can be taken during such issues, right? So we cannot debate, but the reality we have to accept that India must prioritize crowd safety with actionable measures. What are those measures? Consider spatial and thermal comfort when planning events and provide sufficient hydration facilities to prevent exhaustion. Right? There should be multiple and clearly designated entry and exit points which can handle the crowd of such size. Emergency preparedness, including the deployment of medical aid, trained personnel, and effective chaos management protocols must be a non-negotiable standard. All these points in the last para is important. Okay, now let's move to another very important article again. On 24 December also we covered a text and context article on critical minerals. Again there is an article about it. Tapping into Kazakhstan's rare earth potential. We are talking about rare earth resources. Now this can come under GS3 Science and Technology, and it can surely come under GS paper 1, distribution of key natural resources across the world. Right? So what is happening here? India is 5th largest holder of rare earth resources, but we are highly dependent on China for imports because we do not have advanced technologies for its extraction. Like you can see, so what China does? China dictates supply chain terms and uses it in the bilateral issues. Like what China did? It halted the supply of antimony, which is crucial for flame retardants. It has done it. China has done it time and again to use its interest as a superpower, as an aspiring superpower in the country, right? So what should India do in such situations? So India, like other countries like US, Europe, should try to make connections with other countries like Kazakhstan, because it is amongst the richest sources of rare earth resources, right? And it is given that New Delhi's increasing engagement with Astana through Connect Central Asia policy, international north-south transport corridor, we should try to gain from the benefits of such connections, right? Now Kazakhstan holds 15 of the 17 known rare earth elements, and with advanced extraction technologies could dent China's dominance in the sector, right? Countries like Japan, Germany, US, South Korea, and European Union are also joining exploration with Kazakhstan, right? And the Kazakhstan president himself has termed rare earths as the new oil for Kazakhstan economy. You can read about a lot of rare earth elements like beryllium, scandium, and tungsten and battery materials here. So how India should be involved with it? India's COP29 pledge is to achieve 500 gigawatts of renewable energy, right? And we need rare earth elements like dysprosium in advanced clean energy technologies, right? And India lacks capacity across the rare earth supply chain, but plans a 400% increase in mining output. So what we should do? There is a great initiative that our previous National Security Advisor Ajit Doval proposed, India's Central Asia Rare Earth Forum, through which we should boost partnership and private sector investment with these countries, right? Okay, so read this article, it's an important article. Let's move to another page. Now this article in the opinion page is not very important, only the heading is important. Should the wealth tax be reinstated in India? So there are 2 points of views where recently what has happened, a very famous French economist Thomas Piketty has suggested that a wealth and inheritance tax should be imposed on the super rich in India, which in turn could fund health and education. But India's chief economic advisor Anant Nageshwar has opposed the idea, saying this could lead to higher taxes, could encourage fund outflows to other countries from India, and could even stifle the economy of the country, right? So let's move to other article in the text and context page. Now here you can read the gist. This topic is about passive euthanasia, which is also called assisted dying. It comes under the paper GS4 ethics. It also comes under the paper GS2 welfare schemes for vulnerable sections, right? So here you can read the UK House of Commons. So a bill is going on in UK from 29th November, about which discussion is going on. The UK House of Commons recently voted to legalize assisted dying. Now what is India's stance on it? In Common Cause versus Union of India 2018 case, remember the case, it's very important. The Supreme Court affirmed that the right to die with dignity is integral to the right to life, Article 21 of the Constitution. So the court legalized passive euthanasia through this case, right? But what happened? A lot of regulatory gaps was there, right? So the government also brought a law around it, but there were gaps like so Health Ministry has recently released draft guidelines on withdrawing medical support for terminally ill patients, addressing the regulatory gap and saying that doctors must refrain from initiating life support measures when they offer no benefit to the patients and likely to cause harm to their dignity. Okay, so read this last para and the gist, nothing more in this article. Now this article is important for our Indian economy, GS paper 3, fisheries sectors, agri and allied sector. Why is strengthening fisheries extension services crucial? So fishery can come as a separate question in the GS paper 3. You should know these data that there are 3 crore fishers and fish farmers. India has grown 83% in the fish production from 2013-14, and with 75% of this coming from inland fisheries, India is the second largest fish and aquaculture producer globally. You should know this data, and it should be used in the introduction of the fishery question. So there are 2 important schemes mentioned here. Matsya Seva Kendra. Okay, under the flagship Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, there is Matsya Seva Kendra, which is one-stop solution. Read about it. And there is another Sagar Mitras. What are Sagar Mitras? They are, you can consider them Mitra of friends and the fisheries who will transfer important information and data from government to fishers for better production and good quality fisheries, right? So read about this in the last para also, and we can move to, there are other initiatives written like Aqua Bazaar, through which concepts will be shared with the fishers and local people. Let's move to the another article. Now these kind of quizzes should be used for essay content. Lot of personalities are mentioned, lot of events are mentioned. So 1 or 2 things can be picked on daily basis. Let's move to other article. Yeah, now this is also a small article where Pradhan Mantri Modi has talked about emerging and equipping youngsters with skills in emerging technologies. Need to equip youth with skills in emerging technologies, says PM. It can come under GS paper 2, welfare schemes by center. So the only 2 paragraphs are important here. Yesterday we did talk about Guru Gobind Singh's 4 sons who gave their life for protection of Sikhism. So on their birthday, 26th December, Veer Bal Divas is celebrated every year to celebrate their sacrifice. Guru Gobind Singh's 4 sons sacrifices is celebrated on 26 December. And our Honorable PM has also announced a scheme, Suposhit Gram Panchayat Abhiyan, mission for proper nutrition in village panchayats, which will promote a healthy competition among village panchayats to eliminate malnutrition. So remember this new scheme, Suposhit Gram Panchayat Abhiyan. And there's one last article left. So the last article on the science page is a global polio resurgence and the need to reevaluate the basics. Now this comes under GS paper 2 and issues related to health sector, social services sectors like health. What has happened? Polio virus has been detected again in the wastewater systems routine surveillance in especially 5 countries, which are Germany, Poland, Spain and UK. So OPV, which is the oral polio vaccine, leads to vaccine-derived polio viruses to infect children, which is not so effective as IPV, which is inactivated polio vaccine. So there is a initiative, or there is an effort from all the countries to switch from OPVs to IPVs, because IPV will not allow the vaccine-derived infections to further infect children. So that's it for today, and thank you.